Hi everyone. Happy Pride. Um, I have a little story time for y'all today, so come with me, if you will, way, way back to the ancient year of 2013, before the dark times. I was working as a server at Carrabba's. For those of you who don't know, Carrabba's is a chain Italian restaurant. uh, it's good. It's all over the place. Very American, but very good. If you go, try the chocolate dream dessert. You will thank me later, I promise. Anyway, while working there in, I think it was October of 2013, I was the recipient, if you will, of a homophobic note. Um, these people did not even leave a tip, which, if they had, and it was a good one, I might have been able to overlook the note. But they did not. And on the back of their credit card receipt, they wrote a long, dramatic write out about how God's kingdom is not reserved for F-slurs like me, all that jazz. So, being the naive 20-year-old that I was, I vented about it on Facebook because that is what you did back then, or what I did. I certainly did not have any friends with which I could vent about it to. All of my friends were my coworkers. And to this day, I still don't know how, but I guess one of my Facebook friends sent my post to a local news station, and from there it spiraled. It went all over the place, news stations nationwide. Even Bill Maher made a joke about it on his show. It was a whole thing, my 15 minutes of fame, if you will. And as you can imagine, Carrabba's was immediately like, keep your damn mouth shut. They gave me a gag order, basically. They gagged me, sis. And I remember I got a call from, I don't remember who she was, honestly, either one of the regional managers or CEOs. She was one of those people who would come every once in a while and look super intimidating, make sure things went according to plan. Anyway, she called me right as she was about to board the plane to come do damage control for my actions. And she reminded me that when I was hired, I basically signed like an NDA with the company not to discuss them or badmouth them to people. I don't personally remember doing so, but apparently it was in the onboarding materials. And my boss reiterated this, that if I discussed this matter at all, even if I didn't say anything disparaging about the company itself, I would be fired. And remember, I am 20. My family at this point is kind of just barely hanging on financially at any given point, so my job is very important. And I remember feeling, I guess, what would be described as like this emotional claustrophobia, which sounds weird, but I was so afraid to make a move. And this was the second time that I was outed on kind of a grand scale. Long story, but most people knew that I was gay, but now the whole world knew. And even though my name was not released in any of these stories or posts or anything, it felt like I was a target, and that I was being targeted for this thing that I had worked so hard to embrace and be proud of. And thankfully, a lot of the worry turned out to be unwarranted. We had a lovely, lovely turnout. People from all over the country sent in beautiful letters of support. People from all over the city came to the restaurant one weekend and either asked me to be their server or, came and gave their well wishes. I'm still friends with a couple of those people to this day. It was so touching. It was a beautiful display of solidarity that really drowned out the hate that was also present. but there was still something missing. It may sound strange or ungrateful or whatever, but I felt like something more should have been done about it. I felt like this like wounded little animal that was kind of expected to sit back and just be taken care of, and that was nice. But there was this anger too, this frustration, if not in me, then certainly in my mom. She went into full mama bear mode when this happened. Could not have been cooler about things or more protective, even at the cost of her own job. But still, this was the early 2010s, and it felt like we were at this turning point where gay people, both on TV and in real life, were finally finding their voices and finally being allowed to speak as people, as more than just a joke. And I had lived in embarrassment and shame for so long, and I wanted so badly to talk about it. And there were those who told me that I should. My mom was very supportive. A lot of my friends, my agent at the time was like, let's turn this unfortunate situation into a positive one. Let's show the world how strong you are. And I didn't, because I didn't want to ruffle any feathers. It surprised me, that my boss, who was also gay, and a bit of a crappy person, but that's another story. But my boss, who was also gay, was one of the loudest proponents of me staying silent on the matter, not just on the job front, but on the personal front too. I remember he had this talk with me where he basically told me that gay people have a line to toe, and they're happiest or allowed to be happiest when they toe this line. They smile and pretend and behave during the day and in public, and then at night they're allowed to be themselves and be open and whatever. And that felt gross. It did then, it does now. I was learning finally to take these steps out of the closet, and it felt in that moment that was kind of all that was possible, that you lived in the closet during the day and you could tiptoe out of it at night to do what you want, as long as you were kind of close enough to get back in once the sun came up, like a gay vampire, if you will. And here's the thing. I wasn't looking for fame. I wasn't looking to be some poster boy for gay rights or anything. I was not the best person back then either, which is a story for another day. But I was looking for a chance to take my trauma and do something good with it. Finally, I wanted to prove to myself and to others that there was strength in being gay. There was resiliency, and that I and my community were not just punching bags, that you couldn't just treat us badly and get away with it. And it killed me, it hurt me, because there were gay folks out there, whether young or old or in the closet, out of the closet, whatever, who saw that story in the news and did not hear the follow-up. They did not know about the love and the support. So all they knew was that somebody in their community was persecuted, and the people who did it got away with it. Which brings me, I guess, to today. This is kind of my way of making up for all of that, for saying now what I didn't get to back then. Obviously, this has, a lot has changed in the past decade since this happened. In some ways, this probably even feels a little unnecessary, but still, I think there's never enough support for what is right. We've obviously come very far in this day and age, but it does feel like we're regressing a little bit, and that we still have quite a ways to go. So here's the thing. For any young or old member of the community out there, whether you're gay, bisexual, trans, anywhere on the beautiful rainbow, I just want to tell you that you deserve to be here, and you deserve to have your voice heard. And quite clearly, there will be people, even well-meaning people, who try and get you to stay silent. Do not let them take your voice away or censor or edit your words to make you or them more palatable. The thing is, the hard lessons are always a little tough to process. They don't always go down easy. But that's the point. They're meant to push us and change us and get us to reconsider our worldview. So if someone is challenging you or your right to exist, challenge them back. Beliefs are a matter of the mind, and minds are meant to be changed. They can change. I think having open, honest discussions is very important, because a lot of times what it boils down to is fear and ignorance. We humans are stupid, fickle little things, and we tend to cower behind safety in matters of unsurety. And I think knee-jerk reactions can be detrimental to both sides, even ours. But we can meet on a level playing field, talk civilly, and allow that to help us introduce opposing views calmly and surely, to quell those fears that they have. And I do think change can be made. When you're planting the seeds of love and progress, it takes time. You water them, you let them sit and soak up the light, and eventually they grow. It may take patience and compromise, but compromise does not always mean sacrifice. If being your true self means having to let go of some people and some things that are detrimental to your well-being, so be it. Not all things are meant for us, or meant for us to keep. And the things that we do have are with us for a reason, whether that's to help you grow personally, physically, emotionally. Some things are only meant to last for a time. But I do think that life rewards love. And I know that sounds so cheesy to say, but it's true. Whatever you lose in the name of love will be given back to you tenfold. People and places that not only accept you for who you are, but celebrate it. Because that is how we grow as people, as a society, by celebrating each other, by seeing, the beautiful colors that they bring to our lives and integrating them into our own palettes. And there's so many colors out there, so many subtle variations. We find new ones every day, it feels like. So don't ever think that you have seen them all. Don't ever think that you are done growing or speaking, because all it takes is one color, one word that you never considered before to completely change your life or someone else's. which is, all of this is to say, just let the world see you, the real you, the beautiful you. Don't hide behind outdated beliefs or dumbass, maybe fake NDAs or secondhand opinions or cowardly words written on receipts. Just be you while you still have the chance to. Because I guarantee you that your light will be the light that someone needs to make it through. So I see you. I see your shine. I love you. And I want to thank you for being yourself. Because we need you with all the colors that you bring to the world. Got it? Good. So have a happy, healthy, safe Pride Month. Whether you're out, whether you're still taking time, just lead with love. Happy Pride Month, everyone.